especially when they look at us and how we look, and then they look at our wives, and they say, hang on, how did this happen? What they don't understand is that we believe that it's a God thing. I mean, look, when you look at me and look at my wife, it's a pretty good evidence that there is a God. I'm Jase Robertson from Duck Dynasty, and I'm just an average Joe, but I have a game plan for life. People think, well, how did this happen? And you know, my parents, when I was a kid, were not Christians. We rented a bar, and that's how they made a living when I was a small kid. And I saw a lot of things that a little kid shouldn't be seeing. And then all of a sudden, my parents have the most drastic change in a life that I've ever seen to this day. And so I knew that it was for the best, and I knew it was positive, but I didn't really know why. You know, here I am with a little bitterness, a lot of fear based on the way I was raised in that environment, and now all of a sudden, you know, here's this different lifestyle. And I started watching my parents grow, you know, in their faith. We started attending church. They started really trying to become better parents. My dad started taking me hunting. And that's where I was really introduced to God, because just the environment itself, the woods, you know, the water, looking at the details of the animal kingdom and the small details of in the hunting world, you know, from honeybees building the shapes of the honeycomb to, you know, watermelons coming out of the ground, to the ducks migrating to feed the food chain, all these details in the animal kingdom. I just said, I want to look into who created this. I'm like, someone designed this planet. I'm positive of it. There's a designer. I just looked and thought, you know, based on what I'm seeing, I believe there's a God and He is alive. And so that's when I started pursuing a relationship with God, because I thought, I want to see who built this planet. I started asking my parents questions, and you know, to their credit, they said, look, you need to, you know, find your own faith. I mean, there's a Bible, you listen. It's more about a relationship with God than it is trying to find, you know, a bunch of X's and O's and put them together. And I really appreciated that. So I started studying the Bible from that perspective. I thought, I want a relationship with God. And when I was 14, I heard the message of Christ in a way that I guess resonated with me. When I heard that God sent Jesus to this earth as God in a human form to live a perfect life, to show me what God is like, and then to give His life for my mistakes, and not only mine, but for the sins of the world, and I was convicted. I went to the cross there. Through His blood, I appealed to God for forgiveness. And when I heard He was buried, and then 3 days later He came back from the dead, and we're showing people the scars, saying there's a way to get your body back, I thought, this is the person I need to be following and putting my faith and trust in. And I was convicted. And what was cool was, you know, here we are in the outdoors. We live on the riverbank, and my dad, you know, offered to baptize me. And we waded down in our front yard where the river was, and you know, we had this moment where he baptized me. Here's this guy who I was bitter about for years, about the way he lived his life and treated my mom and treated us. And here we've gone full circle. And I realized at that moment, part of that is now you become a forgiver. And you realize that my dad made mistakes, and he owned up to them. That he's in the blood of Christ, I'm in the blood of Christ. And we became more than a father and a son, we became brothers. And to this day, he's one of my best friends because of that bond we have, you know, in Christ. We all make mistakes. God forgives us, gives us second chances, and He gives us that hope of the resurrection. You know, we're going to be a family together forever. What I had to overcome was my fear of being vocal about my faith.
Hi, my name is Ronaldo Wynn with Game Plan for Life, and you just heard from Duck Dynasty star Jase Robertson. He talked a lot about his salvation story, how he came to Christ and how that impacted him, and then how he became to impact other people in his life. Make sure you go to Coach's book, Game Plan for Life, to look at the salvation topic in there to get more information. And also go to our website, gameplanforlife.com, if you want more information and to have a game plan for your life.